Hi everyone, today's lesson is on pyramids. We're going to be finding volume of pyramids, surface area of pyramids, and lateral area of pyramids. So let's get started. So we're going to start off talking about the difference between a prism and a pyramid. And so one of the main differences is that if you notice on a pyramid, pyramids come to a point up here, whereas a prism has what we call two of these. These are called bases. So a prism has two bases, where a pyramid actually only has one base. Okay, so that's one big difference. Another big difference is that the sides of a prism, see that? These are rectangles. So the sides of prisms are rectangles, and the sides of a pyramid are actually triangles. So let's look at that, okay? So if we looked at a pyramid, so here's a pyramid, okay? And so the pyramids have one base, whereas a prism, this could be these are both square pyramid or square bases. This is a prism, this is a pyramid. But if you look at the sides, or what we call the faces, and these are the lateral faces, remember? Lateral meaning because they go around. So these are the lateral faces are rectangles, whereas the lateral faces on a pyramid are triangles, okay? And so again, like we just covered the whole, a big section on prisms. So see the lengths of the faces? These are rectangles. Another prism, see, these are rectangles. And here's another prism. This is a triangular. Remember, you look at the base and you go, oh, it's a triangular prism. It's a square prism. A square pyramid. This one has 8 sides, so that's going to be a hexagonal prism. So a couple of things again. The pyramids have triangular faces, so these are my triangular faces. The pyramids have one base, and then everything's named by their bases, just like a prism. So this is just another thing comparing prisms and pyramids, but what I do want to talk to you about is this right here, this shape, and I want you to see the difference here. Notice that this height, okay, so if I had a pyramid, here's my pyramid, the height goes straight down, not on the side, that goes straight down, which I don't have. So see how it goes straight down? That's my height. It's perpendicular with the base. This is my base, okay? This height here is what we call the slant height, because see how it's slanted? It's slanted, it's a side. It's on that lateral face and it's slanted. So we call that the slant height. Whereas oh, look at that. These are backwards. Pyramids here. There's a pyramid. Here's a prism. Okay. And that was weird. Okay. So there's my prism. So pyramids are here. Prisms are here. Now, if you look at the height of this shape here, if I were to go straight down and it's perpendicular, totally, that's the height, but it's also the same distance here. That length is the same as that. Whereas this being my height, this is not my height. We call that the slant height. And we use the slant height, we use like a cursive L. So that's my slant height. And what a slant height will do, see that? Look at that. Perpendicular. Now I have a right triangle. All kinds of really cool things I can do. Okay, so let's talk about the vocabulary for a pyramid. Now this, look at the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be a hexagonal pyramid. Okay, hexagonal, because look at the base. It's a hexagon. My base is a hexagon. My lateral face, which is this face out here, right? That's a lateral face. That's a triangle. My base edge, those are my base edges right there, okay? That's a base edge. A lateral edge, the lateral edge is this edge. See that right there? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's actually 6 because it's a hexagon. So those are my lateral edges right there. My altitude, which is my height, that's this distance from here to here, this length, that's my height. And then the difference between my slant height and my actual height is my slant height comes down at me like this. See how it's on the slant? That's the slant height, okay? That's the L, like that. That's what my slant height is right there. Okay, so what this is this is telling me, hey, we have regular pyramids and we have pyramids that are not regular. Regular means all sides and angles are congruent on the base, so that means the base is a regular polygon. All lateral edges, these are the lengths, are congruent. So that length right here is congruent. That's a lateral edge to that length. So they are congruent. And that being said, that means the face, the lateral faces, these are isosceles triangles. And then the blank meets the base at the center. So that's going to be this distance, and that's that length, that's the height. Another name for height is altitude, okay? We have a couple of pyramid formulas. The first formula is the lateral area. So here's my pyramid. The lateral area is the area all the way around. That's lateral. Lateral meaning around. So my lateral area is 1/2 PL. L being my slant height. P being the perimeter of one base. Okay, and guess what? I only have one base, so that's going to be pretty easy. The total area is my lateral area, because the total area, the difference between the total area and the lateral area is the lateral area is the area all the way around, whereas the total area is the lateral area all the way around plus the area of one base, okay? And so be careful on that. The difference between a pyramid, now this is a pyramid. Let's make a trapezoidal pyramid. So there's my trapezoid, put a dot. This is how I make a pyramid. Connect the dots like that, okay? So connect the dots, and meaning that I'm saying pyramid, connect the vertices. So now I'm gonna make a regular prism, and not regular meaning regular, but just a prism. Okay, so now see the difference? And that's an awful picture of that. Let me try that again. This being my pyramid, like the, or my trapezoid, and my pyramid, a trapezoidal pyramid is going to go like that. Okay, not any better. Anyway, lateral area is the area around the sides, whereas total area, okay, is going to be the area around the sides plus one base, okay? Whereas this being a prism, I have two bases. So this would be 2 times the base plus the lateral area. So just keep that in mind, the differences there. So we're going to try this. Find the lateral area and total area of the regular pyramid below. So this being a pyramid, I want the lateral area, which is 1/2 perimeter times my slant height. So 1/2 my perimeter, which is 6 times 4, so that's going to be 24, times my slant height, which, by the way, they didn't give me, okay, which is this length right here. But if this is a regular polygon down here at the base, that means there's 3. My apothem is 3. Now that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. That means this is my hypotenuse, and my slant height is 5. So 1/2 of 24, which is 12, 12 times 5, which is 60 units squared. So that's my lateral area. My total area is my lateral area, which is 60 units squared, plus plus the area of one base. And because I have one base. So to find the area of that base, it's just going to be base times height, or length times width, which is 6 times 6, which is 36 units squared. So the total area is going to be 96 units squared, okay? So this is just the different parts. Again, this is my slant height. This is a base edge. Slant height, the perimeter of the base, you just multiply the numbers together. And n is the number of lateral faces. This also is the number of sides. So what we have is a Great Pyramid, and this pyramid has a slant height of 612 meters and one base edge of 481 meters. So the lateral area, if you recall, again, is 1/2 perimeter times my slant height, which is going to be, I'm going to put that up down here. So lateral area is going to be 1/2 my perimeter. I'm going to use my calculator. My perimeter is going to be 481 times 4, and that's going to be 1924. So 1/2 my perimeter times my slant height, which is 612. So I'm going to do that times 612 equals, and I'm going to divide that by 2. And therefore I have 588. So my lateral area is 588,744 units squared. My total area is going to be the lateral area plus the area of one base. So my lateral area, which is going to be 588,744 plus the area of one base. Now my base, because it's a regular polygon, my base is, these are congruent. So 481 times 481, so that's going to be 481 times 481, and that's 231, 361. So plus 231, 361. So I'm going to add that to 588, 744, and I'm going to get my total area is equal to 820,105 units squared. Okay. So the next screen is going to bring me to the volume. Now remember, the difference between the volume of and the surface area is that the surface area is just finding the area of all the outside surfaces, okay, and including the base. Whereas the volume is actually filling it up on the inside to make it a solid. It's like if I were to take this little opening here and I were to fill it in with dirt or sand or salt or something like that, that would make a solid. That would be the volume, okay? So the volume of a pyramid formula is 1/3 area of the base times the height. The volume of a prism, which we already did the last lesson, is area of one base times the height. Remember, the capital B is area of one base. That's what that is. Whereas, and this is the third. Now keep in mind, let's say these were the same. So what happens is if I were to take this and this and say, well, how much sand did I put in here compared to here? Well, this is going to be 1/3 the amount that was put into this. And so what's going to happen? So let me try to draw this in here. So meaning my triangle was sitting in here. There's my pyramid. There's that thing sitting inside here. Okay, there it is. And if I were to fill that up, how much sand did that fill up to be compared to what's left? Well, it's 1/3. So my volume of a pyramid is 1/3, capital B, area of one base, times the height. The height is the height. So our job is to find the volume of this pyramid. So the volume is 1/3 area of the base times the height. So 1/3 area of one base. Now the area of one base, you got to look at it and go, well, what's the base? This is a square. So therefore it's just going to be 6 times 6. And then you're going to have times the actual height of the whole shape, which is 4. So times 4. But I want to just make sure you understand that when you're looking at these, you actually have to look at the base. So like if I was finding the base, that base is a triangle. So I'm not going to use the same formula. This base is a square, so you don't use the same formula. This is an octagon. You don't use that formula. It's going to be different. So be careful on that. 3 is going to divide into one of these numbers, 2. I have 24 times 2, which is 48 units cubed, and that's my volume. So we got 1/3 area of one base, which is 6 times 6, times my height of the whole shape, which is 4. And so, multiplication is commutative, so you can multiply these in any order, but anyway, so that's how you do that. So just as an exit ticket, I would like you to try to draw a triangular prism. That's what this is. Okay, so this one is a prism, and the second page is a pyramid. And so your job, you're going to stop the video, you're going to do the exit ticket, and you're going to make sure you have all the answers correct by restarting the video and checking your answers. So a triangular prism is an equilateral triangle. So the base is an equilateral triangle. So this one, I'm going to make 2 equilateral triangles like this, okay? Because remember, for making a prism, the bases need to be exactly the same shape. Check. And so I'm going to connect those. Okay. It's an equilateral triangle like that. So that means one of those angles is 60. The base edges are 10. So those are 10. All right. And the height is 4. So the height of the prism is 4. Find the perimeter. Now the perimeter is going to be 30 units. Okay. Now the lateral area, remember, for a prism is different than the lateral area for a pyramid. The lateral area for a prism is perimeter times height. So my perimeter, this would be 30 times 4. So that's going to be 120 units squared. So that's my lateral area. Now, the hardest part, I think, of this whole thing is just to remember, what is the area of my base? I need to look at the base. What kind of a shape is the base? The base for this problem is a triangle. So how do I find the area of a triangle? So I'm going to go that capital B, which is the area of one base, okay? I'm going to go, that's 1/2 B times H. Now remember, these B's are different. This capital B right here is the area of one base, okay? This is the base. So when I work this out, my actual base, right, B times H, is this. That's 10. That's the base of my triangle. So 1/2 B, which is 10, times my height, which is this value here, okay? So if that's 60 and that's 5, this is going to be 5√3. So that my height is 5√3. So capital B, the area of one base, 2 goes into 10, 5 times 5 is 25√3. So that's the area of one base. But keep in mind, the total area is the lateral area plus 2 base areas. So my lateral area is 120 units squared plus 2 base areas, 25√3. So that's what? 120 units squared plus 50√3 units squared. And so that's how I rewrite our total area. All right. Now, lastly, my volume for a prism is area of one base times the height. So the area of one base, we've already decided, was 25√3. The height of my shape is 4. So the volume is going to equal 100√3. And remember, it's units cubed because it's units times units times units. And the last exit ticket is going to be this one, which is a pyramid. So you're trying to make a hexagonal pyramid, okay? And so a hexagonal pyramid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pyramid, put a point, and then connect the sides. So connect the vertices here. And now we made a pyramid. Okay, now, the base is 6. Oh, the apothem of the base. Okay, that's not 6. My apothem or apothem is 6. So that means that this length from here to here is 6. The height of the pyramid, which is this whole length here, is 8. Find the following. Well, we need to find the perimeter. The first one has got us stuck. Okay, so this is a hexagon. We know that the sum of the angles of a hexagon from this formula, and minus 2, because there's 6 sides. 6 minus 2 is 4. 180 times 4, 720. And we know because it's regular, I can divide that by 6 and I get 120. So here's the thing. This is 120. That's 120. All of these are 120. The purpose of just even saying that is this. I'm going to draw in my radius like that, okay? Which basically means that this angle that's inside here, right down there, is 60, okay? And then that's 30. So it means that for me to find my perimeter, I need the length of one side, which I don't have. So remember, across from the 60-degree angle, you can set that equal to a root 3. So we're going to take 6, divide by 3, multiply by root 3. I get 2 root 3 is across from the 30-degree angle, so 2 root 3. So that means that the whole length of one side is 4 root 3. So my perimeter is going to be 4 root 3 times 6, which is 24 root 3. That's my perimeter units. All right, now my slant height is, remember, comes out like this, right? Comes out that way. That's my slant height. Well, also, this is 8, right? Do you agree with that? That's 8. And this length here is going to be my radius, but that's not what I'm actually, this is going to my apothem, and that's 6. So let's see here, 6, 8, 10. So that length's 10. So my slant height is equal to 10. Well, my lateral area is 1/2 my perimeter of one base times my slant height. So you're going to go 1/2 the perimeter of one base, which is 24 root 3, times my slant height, which is 10. And so that's going to be 12 times 10. So my lateral area is going to be 120 root 3 units squared. So that's my lateral area. 1/2 perimeter times height. Okay, so now my base area, now that's the tricky part. What's the base? The base is a polygon. So the base polygon formula is 1/2 ANS. It's 1/2 my apothem times the number of sides times the length of one side. So that 2 goes into one of these, that's 3. So what do we have? We have 18 times 4. Is that right? 72? Yep. So my base area, 1/2 ANS, is 72 root 3 units squared. So that's my base area. My total area is going to be my lateral area, which is 120 root 3 plus the area of one base. Now remember, in the last problem, we had 2 bases. But in this problem, we have one base area, which is 72 root 3. So it'll be 192 root 3 units squared. And the last question is asking me for my volume. And my volume is 1/3 area of the base, which is 72 root 3, times the height of the whole shape, which is 8. So we're going to go 3 divides into 72. Let's see, 72 divided by 3 is going to be, what is that, 24? Yeah, so that'll be 24 times root 3 times 8. And so now we have 24 times 8, which is 2, 3, 16, 17, 18, 19, which is 192 root 3 units cubed. So make sure that you show all your work for your exit ticket and you turn that in. And I hope that helped. And tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.